Hello everyone. In this video, I will be discussing about trigonometry and special right triangles. And specifically, I will be discussing about the 30-60-90 triangle, wherein we have here an illustration on the Mobile Legends Bang Bang, which is a screenshot of some heroes, which are Xavier and Lancelot. So we have used here Lancelot to illustrate the 30-60-90 triangle. To show what is interesting about this special right triangle here, we have here different proportions on the sides of this right triangle, which are on the opposite of 30 we have a, and on the opposite of 60 we have a square root of 3, and on the opposite of 90 degrees is 2a. So those are the proportions that we must remember when we talk about special right triangle 30, 60, 90. And the opposite of 30, that is a, opposite of 60 is a square root of 3, and then opposite of 90 degrees is 2a. Now, suppose that we take the value of a as 1, it will follow that the opposite of 60 will be 1 times square root of 3, or simply square root of 3. And then the hypotenuse will be 2 times 1, which will be equal to 2. We have here the smallest measure of the leg as 1 unit, and then and the opposite of 60-degree angle, which is the medium size, square root of 3 units. And then on the longest side, which is the opposite of 90 degrees, which is also called the hypotenuse, measures 2 units. This actually makes sense if we are going to take a look those numbers at the number line, wherein 1 is on the left side of 2. So it's actually the smallest value, followed by square root of 3, which is in between 1 and 2. Square root of 3 is an irrational number, therefore we can only estimate its location. Square root of 1 is actually equal to 1, and square root of 4, which is a perfect square, will be equal to 2. And square root of 3 is in between those rational numbers. Since square root of 3 is irrational, we can only estimate that as approximately equal to 1.7. Okay, suppose that we forgot how to solve the missing parts of this special right triangle, and we are only given two lengths of it. Let's say, for example, in here, this is an equilateral triangle, wherein if we are going to cut this into half, we will be able to create a 30-60-90 triangle, because of the fact that in this equilateral triangle, it has angle measures which are 60 degrees in all its three angles. So if you are going to cut this 60 degree in here, we will be able to take the half of 60, which is 30 degrees. And then since this is perpendicular to the base, we will be able to create a 90-degree angle. And then we will retain the 60 degree, which makes it a 30-60-90 triangle. And in here, as or the measures of the side of the equilateral triangle is equal to 2 units. Since this is equilateral, therefore all the sides are equal. Now, if we take the half of this base, half of 2 will be 1. So we have here two values, which are the shortest side or opposite of 30 degrees, and then the longest side or the hypotenuse, which is equal to 2 units. Now, we have a theory for right triangle which is very famous. This is called the Pythagorean theorem. The sum of the squares of the two legs is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. Therefore, if we are going to label all the parts of this 30-60-90 triangle, we can suppose that 1 is equal to A, and the longest side or the hypotenuse is equal to C, and then the unknown is B. Okay, so by substitution, since A is equal to 1, as has been mentioned a while ago, so we substituted A to be 1, and then b is unknown, so we left it with question mark as a placeholder for the unknown, and then c, or the hypotenuse, is equal to 2 as has been mentioned, so we substituted 2 for c. Then by performing the operations, that is 1 squared is 1, and then 2 squared is 4, and we retain the question mark to be as it is because we cannot perform any further operation with that. But we can actually transfer 1 on the other side, so that will be by subtraction property of equality, 1 minus 1 is 0, and as you do it on the other side, that is 4 minus 1 as well. So this will become 0, and we are left with the question mark, the quantity squared, is equal to 4 minus 1 is 3. And then to get rid of the square, we did the square root of both sides. So by using that, we canceled it out. So the square root and the square, or the power of 2, has been cancelled out, and square root of 3 will be retained. So in here, in our final answer, the value of the question mark is square root of 3. So absolutely, as we have been talking a while ago about this value, the smallest side, or the opposite of 30, is the hypotenuse is 2, and then the opposite of 60 is square root of 3. So by the use of the Pythagorean theorem, we ended up with the same result. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next videos.